This is www.jamesresearch.com. This is our mixtape. You may check it out.
Hey guys, it's the end of the semester. What did you learn from our research?
Because our research need a lot of foundations and background information. So our literature review is quite important, and we need some data from it. So we need to figure out some keywords and key sentences so we can make it according to our research. So that's the point that we figure out the logic line and try to put the proper literature on it.
And for me, what I learned from that is actually like doing the interview, conducting an interview, because I learned a lot how to like ask questions, because good questions lead to a better research, meaning like successful one. And from learning from how to ask questions, like instead of asking close-ended questions, I can ask more like open-ended, and I can get more perspectives from the person that I'm interviewing with.
Yeah, so for me, I think the thing that I learned from our research is how to design our own topic, because in the beginning we are separated into different groups and we have different thoughts, and finally we can combine our thoughts and make our own topics, because I remember in the class Jenn have said that we have to pick up a topic that we are really interested in, because we have to spend a period of time on it, because the research is not only lasts for 1 or 2 days. So by designing a good topic, it can be easier to make up our research question and the methodology and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us more about what you learned by doing qualitative research?
Like what I said earlier, I identify how to code, some coding skills, so that some points in the literature review can be matched up to the points in the preliminary findings that we have.
Yeah, so for me, while doing a quantitative research, I think, as I mentioned before, we have to decide our own topics. And the methodology when doing a qualitative research is different from a quantitative research. I remember that when having the presentation at the conference, every time when I talk the methodology to the undergraduate, I said that the quantitative research is focused on the statistic data, while our qualitative research is focused on the verbal data, what the participant experience and what they talk about in their perspective. So I think the most important thing is about the methodology, and by collecting our data, and then we can, according to our specific topic, we design our own methods, like the interviews, individual interviews, focus group, and observations, and then we can build up our own preliminary findings.
Yeah, so in addition to methodology, like knowing what actually fits our topic of the research, it's actually really important also, as Jack and Writage mentioned, about the coding data, because we only have a focus group and with limited time. Given that there are just a couple of leaders that we can interview with, we keep reviewing all these questions that we asked. And then what I found really difficult would be actually knowing how to code the data, because data is just part of the important part as that contributes to our preliminary findings, which I found really struggling with, because it seems like they speak similar things. For example, they talk about their leadership styles and their experience, but in fact they're not exactly the same thing. So in coding them, we figure out how to make the process the research as a whole to be more specific and more concise to the audience that we present.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. I know that you guys are going to do your senior project next year, so what can be applied to your UMAC project?
Okay, that's a good question. I think the most important thing that I can apply to my UMAC senior project is patience, because it really requires a long period of time to collect data. So I think I need to leave some whole part of the time and ask some interviews or collect literature reviews and some statistics data.
As for I do agree with the patience part because after like doing the whole process, like actually doing research, I think the most difficult part for me is to actually present the idea out. Like actually, because we have a lot of audience from different academic backgrounds or even cultural backgrounds, and regarding these issues, they even asked us about like what do you think about this topic, and then in the process of exchanging ideas, I feel like sometimes I can like use a concise language so that they understand better. Like using all these kind of terminologies, that could be difficult for them. So what I would do in my final project next year will be trying to use like simple language and concise language. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with your points. So for me, I think the thing that I can apply to my UMAC final thesis project is how to design our process. Although there are some difference between my final thesis and, like Jack has said, it's different from the qualitative research, but I think the structure of designing a poster is similar. Like because our final thesis we still have a symposium, and also by doing a real poster, we know how to structure which part is going to which position, and also we have to remember that the wording should be large enough so that the audience can see from a long distance. Then I think that's important for our final thesis.
Yeah.
I can't agree more. So this is what we learned here. And if you like our video, please subscribe our link. And expect our next mixtape. See you, bro.
This shit that ice cold. Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up.